Hi. Just come together here and just feel yourself present and arriving with however you feel, however it feels in you right now. Just allow it. We'll dive into today's lesson.
Today's lesson, number 285. My holiness shines bright and clear today. Today I wake with joy, expecting but the happy things of God to come to me. I ask but them to come, and realize my invitation will be answered by the thoughts to which it has been sent by me. And I will ask for only joyous things the instant I accept my holiness. For what would be the use of pain to me? What purpose would my suffering fulfill? And how would grief and loss avail me if insanity departs from me today, and I accept my holiness instead? Father, my holiness is yours. Let me rejoice in it, and through forgiveness be restored to sanity. Your Son is still as you created him. My holiness is part of me, and also part of you. And what can alter holiness itself? God, Father, my holiness is yours.
Yeah, this sounds totally amazing. This holiness that God is, that God creates, extends. And he's saying that is what we are. We are holiness. Our minds are holy. We allow ourselves to accept this. And we allow all littleness and all the unworthiness to move away and leave room for the holiness to be felt. We will try now and go into meditation and see if we can allow some or perhaps all holiness to come in and land in our being. One thing that Jesus shares with us in the Course is that changes are helpful. Changes are always helpful. To see that we are usually stretched through our comfort zone, beyond our comfort zone, beyond the familiar. And the ego always wants to be in control. So I looked at the different stages in my own life, and I saw how not being in a relationship, for example, was one way I healed, but also a way for me to feel comfortable and familiar. The ego always seeks the comfortable and the familiar. And we find ourselves and we define ourselves in certain ways, in certain scenarios. And then I found myself in relationship. And the confident self I had before of being single was now shaken. So it was harder to be in control. And so then to heal through being with another was a whole new thing. The ego always wants to establish some kind of safety that we need to undo. And somehow I saw this expansive experience in change because it shakes the self-concept up. We may even feel in control of healing. We kind of got it. We think we have it. We think we control it. We think we understand what's going on, find some kind of safety, and it gets familiar because we define it, we label it. But we're actually wrong most of the time. Actually, we could say all of the time, because in time we are wrong. It's only in the experience of timelessness that we are truly right, that we're truly free. So in time, we're wrong about the conclusions we state about ourselves, about who we are. So I agree with Jesus when he says it's very helpful with change, because the ego self-concept gets shaken up, and and it still wants to reestablish safety and think it knows what is happening, but it gets more and more, loose each time we face and release the self-concept. So it expands us to go through changes and to accept changes that we're called into. And they can look in many different ways. And sometimes the ego is so sure that change is wrong, or it judges it, But how could we judge what is happening? How could we look back and say, no, that was not so good, or that was probably wrong, or what parameters are we using when we do that? Very, very limited judgment. Like when I seem to leave the other ministry, the ego was saying, no, that's not good, because it's better to be there. Of course it's better, you know that. You know better, but the spirit was calling me, was guiding me, was literally lifting me out for me to learn even more trust. But still the ego was very harsh and said, no, that's better. This is not good. Now you're on your own, and this is not good. So for a time, I was battling with that. But who concluded this? What concluded this? Some kind of past judgment of what is good. But what do I know? What can we know? The quicker we can say this to ourselves about changes, what do I know? I want to trust instead. You know, the faster we can come to peace with it. Say, what do I know? How do I think I know what is best for my healing, for my awakening? So it's better to say, I don't know, but I trust one who knows. And I follow, and I follow, and I follow it. Because it's funny when you think of it, what do we use when we judge? We use past reference, past knowledge that is usually not very helpful. It's very limiting and limited. And it does develop trust when we allow those changes to come in. The development of trust in the manual for teachers is just always so helpful to go to when you go through difficult changes, when you feel like there is a loss or, you know, an intense undoing. Read the development of trust. I read it many times, especially in those intense moments. And also what he says about the child that is running with scissors. You know, sometimes it does feel like something is taken away or something is changing. But it's because it's not good for us anymore. We are ready for another step. So the scissors analogy is saying, you know, a parent will take the scissors from a child because the child can hurt itself. And the child may cry when you take the scissors away because the child wants to play with the scissors, doesn't understand it can hurt himself. But we can see it like this with changes, or when we have to let go of something that we thought we liked. We can be a little more trusting and see ourselves as this child who's lovingly looked after. Because, you know, he does say, I'm calling you out of the world. He literally says that, I'm calling you out of the world. And how is that going to look? This sounds kind of big to be called out of the world, you know? So it probably looks like some changes will come in, some undoing, some letting go. Our world is not real. The world we held on to, the world we hold on to, is a dream. It is like the scissors. And it is most helpful to give over the scissors. To let go of control. to let go, period. To surrender. And that's more like a moment by moment undertaking to release control and to release the conclusions we make about ourselves. You know, the body wouldn't exist if we didn't dream it up over and over and over again every moment. The world would not exist if we did not dream it up again and again. That's how much fear there is in the mind. In fact, it doesn't exist in this moment. In no single instant does the body exist at all. It's always remembered or anticipated. So there must be an enormous fear that is producing density, time and space, shape and form. There must be so much fear. But we're actually called to question this fear. I think sometimes we have to face it as if it is a monster, as if it is so scary, this fear of loss of self. But maybe there are times when we can just actually just let it go, just say we're mistaken. Or who we thought we were. We turn around and look the other way. We no longer look to make illusion real. And we collaborate too. We're called to join as we call out of the world. Minds join. We recognize ourselves as minds join. We find ourselves, we see who we are through the joining of minds. It was sweet yesterday because we watched Alice in Wonderland. And I had not seen it before, actually. I heard the story, but there was total collaboration. She knew it was a dream because her father had told her so. She only knew it because her father told her so. She didn't really know it consciously or experientially, but she trusted her father so much that she knew it was a dream and she was going to wake up no matter what. And she wasn't that scared, maybe a little bit. And also throughout the movie, she thought she was the wrong Alice. They kept telling her, "Are you the wrong Alice?" And she said, yeah, I must be the wrong Alice, Until she was the right Alice. She killed the dragon. She killed the ego. And the dream was over. But through the awakening process, there was so much collaboration and trust and listening to the right voice, joining where it was guided, avoiding what is not helpful. It's a very good movie. Yeah, we can Come back again, take a deep breath and come back to this present moment. And even just to feel today's lesson about holiness. My holiness shines bright and clear today. And this journey is a total undoing of self-concept. And there are times when we will feel that we fear the destruction of our thought system as if it is the fear of death. We fear the destruction of our self-concept as if it is the fear of death. That's how strong the terror can be. But if we're ready to face that fear, there is greatness awaiting on the other side. And so we can actually cultivate our willingness to take it deeper. And we don't have to anticipate that fear. Jesus actually says that it's possible to go through the undoing without pain or fear. It's possible, but rare. And the undoing is actually delicious. It's not to be feared. It's the resistance that is fearful and painful. I remember the time when I first was with David and I felt this immense trust in him. And I needed that trust in him, in someone who I could feel the Holy Spirit through, to dare to lay aside the ego fear. But there was a time when I even projected that fear onto him. But I overcome that, I faced that fear too. This was very early on, and then later on, I trusted him so much that our minds were very close, and that gave him, or spirit through him, permission to help me very much, to be very clear with me. There were even times when he told me, it's best you don't speak. It's best you don't look at that. It's best you stay there. It's better you go there. And I trusted, and it was greatly helpful. And the ego was also sometimes very intense. because there are habits and there is the control. Self-concept wants to be in control. And we can trust whatever path is given us. You know, I prayed for a fast path, fast track, and I certainly got it. And whatever path is given us, whatever path we're ready for, you know, trust it. But do take the steps. Do trust the inner guide. Is that times we hear, we listen, but we don't want to follow. At times that happens. And maybe there are other times when we don't really hear guidance, and that just means there are some layers to allow to be seen. If we don't hear guidance, we can pray to ask what is in the way? What do I need to see here? What pattern, maybe control behavior, or what belief do I need to see to release? Maybe unworthiness or littleness. And then we can be really sincere about it. We can literally sit down and have an inner conversation with spirit. And just really open the mind to the answer. If we want the answer, it will come. No doubt. It takes a little bit of willingness to take that moment, take that time. I like having a little bit of willingness. It feels so good. And it feels like no pressure. No pressure at all. It feels, you know, like a little willingness. It feels like a soft inner intention. To be open, to be shown. Vanessa.
Yeah, I think I would like to explore a situation that happened for me, but I'm still feeling this fear. And I went to the dentist today, and there was so much fear about the amount of money, because I went there, I think 6 months ago, and then a dentist, and just look at my tooth. And he gave me an amount of money for my treatment. And then I had some people who helped me with money, who gave me money to help in this treatment. And now I came back there. There was another dentist, was not the same one. And she started to look at my tooth, and she said, "Oh, I'm not sure if you can put a new crown. Yeah, and but in the end, and when she started to talk about the amount of money that I should pay, I was like, oh my God, I could feel already so much fear. And then when I came back, I was feeling completely lost. It was a lot of thought like, oh, I should have asked this and I didn't. I should have explored with her the situation that I didn't talk about. And it was interesting because in Brazil today, it's a child day. Like we celebrate child day. And then a lot of people just sharing picture when they were a child. And this feeling like I feel so lost in this world, just like I feel like without guidance, without God's help, Jesus' help, I'm not able to do nothing. It's like I don't know what to say. I always feel like I should have done something different. I don't know where to go, what to do. I don't know how to make decision really. Like then when I came home, I was just praying and I said, Jesus, I need so much your help. I really feel like a child, where I need Jesus' hands, take my hands and guide me, because it seems like it's about my tooth. It's and it seems surreal because I start to feel pain, and the body seems so surreal. And then I was just questioning, and I was like just questioning my mind, say, I don't know what is it for. And I remember when this woman, the dentist, she looked at my eyes and then she was explaining to me. There was just thought in my mind like, help me. But I don't know. It's just there is some calling for help in my heart. It seemed like help me to fix my teeth, but deep down was just a calling for help all the time. Just I need help every moment, because otherwise I don't know what to do. I don't know. I feel completely lost. I feel like I cannot deal with my word. I cannot deal by my own, And then she called me and she said, yeah, maybe my thought is now you can just maybe you can put not a permanent one for now. You can put something and try on for 3 or 4 months, and then afterwards you can put a permanent one. But even that, I don't know, it's always, I never know what is helpful. Yeah, I just feel to expose this fear and this feeling like without help I cannot.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And actually, to me, it makes complete sense to feel lost in this world. This world is not our home, but there is a way of feeling safe. And I think you're looking at something deep, this fear of this belief in lack, this feeling of not having what you need. But I think the key is to give the tooth over to Holy Spirit, to see the tooth in a trusting place, in the Holy Spirit's hand. See this tooth work, dental work in the Holy Spirit's hand. And trust it. And perhaps you can even, ask for some support,
Yeah, I think now we have the money because I have received was more this. I was afraid she could give me a new price and what now, and Jonas is gonna think, and I don't have job. All this come up like that. Yeah.
It was just like a panic or like fear
Yeah.
coming in that moment.
This deep feeling like I don't know, I'm a child, I'm a child and I need help, even though I'm 41 years old, but I don't believe I am. I feel like I'm still a child and I need help.
Yeah. I felt like that many times in my life. But even that is okay. And to realize you're actually just moving through some fears. And there is help, and sometimes we can feel so lost that we seek help in the world, but help is in God, in the safety within, and sometimes we think everybody else knows how to be or how this world works.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure they do. I don't think they do. I don't think that's true. I think that can be a facade that people know what they're doing, but
yeah, this was exactly the thought. How can we think we know something? Like, how can we think it's possible to go through this world, like believing that we know how to do, where to go, what is helpful, because it's not possible at all. Like, it just brings so much fear when I think I have to know, I should know. Or...
yeah.
Now I can breathe again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. It's just so helpful to join whenever there is something.
Yeah.
Okay. Patricia.
Jenny, when you share that your story with David, yeah, the word trust, it's trust. Gosh, I don't know why right now it's just there's so much love behind trust. I just want to share quickly. It was just at the beginning when I started to join. It was just like maybe 1 month since I received like my big ordeal with the IRS, and I was such in a big mess, and I had to make the decision, what do I do? Because if I paid the bill, and it was almost instantaneously that I had to file for bankruptcy, like one goes with the other. And one time in a Zoom meeting, I said, listen, David, what do I do? Because I was such in a big panic, like I didn't know what to do. And I said, oh, well, I think I made my decision, and I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna pay my bills, and it will be over with. And David goes like this, and he says, do you trust me? I said, well, of course I do. I really, really trust you. He said, you have to go through the procedure because you need to defend yourself. Not defend yourself as the ego, but it's just, and I don't want to explain, guys, the situation.
No, I understand. To go through what is right. What is the
just go through the procedure. This is what you need to do, and you need to trust. And this is what you need to do. And oh my gosh. And I was like, afterwards, I was saying, man, this guy is nuts. Like it's, like, it completely went, like, I really thought he was going to tell me, no, finish this. And, but no, he did the opposite. And see, like, I'm still like sometimes it's every hour, I'm still trusting because I don't know the outcome of it. We did all the procedure, and the right lawyers and the right accountant are showing up, and it's like, I'm just still holding, like, I'm just like, I'm like, it's such a, I guess it's perfect for me, because I guess, Holy Spirit have been knocking on the door, and yeah, I think this is the final strokes, because I will not have got it. Like, I mean, yeah, he's the one in charge, not me,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all my life, I really thought it was me in charge.
Right.
I'm in charge. Now I know I'm so wrong. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with you. And it's just, there's only one thing we need to do. It's to trust. And I don't know what's my best interest. So what I'm asking for is peace for everyone involved. So I still don't know what the outcome is, but
Yeah. This, I feel it's often this undoing of a self-concept. It's often like being a camel going through the eye of the needle.
yeah. And even like, I remember just going through, like, finding a lawyer's, can you imagine, like, I don't know, even like right now, I still don't know how it happened. It's not me. It's Holy Spirit that did this, because to find a lawyer that knew the taxes system in Canada and United States, both, it's a big deal. It's like there is only 2 firms in Canada. I remember that day because it was so much like, oh my gosh, you have to trust, like, and it was so significant for me. So far, it's really like yeah. And thank you so much for your love. Thank you for having the courage to keep on going, because this path is not an easy path. And sometimes I, as my mighty companion, I'm so appreciative that I have people that I can hold in with,
Yeah. It's necessary.
Yeah.
And it's given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just truly, and I don't know, I really starting to see that I'm not a body, I'm free. And it's really true. I'm not this. I'm really not this. And this world is not real. It's really not.
No.
Yeah, this is hallucinations. It cannot be real. Are you kidding me?
It's too weird to be real.
Yeah, there was with a friend of mine saying, "Oh, did you know there's extraterrestrial coming in?" I said, "Are you kidding me? You still believe in this? You think that really supposedly they're smarter than us, that they will come on Earth? Like, who will come here?" I just thought it was funny. You didn't find it very funny, but anyway, I did. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you, Patricia. beautiful testimony of trust. And I think it often is that way. Are you kidding me? You know, when the guidance comes in, sometimes through someone that we trust, like it can be like, I would never do that. This is against my principle. This is against what I think, you know. But when we have that trust, whether we hear it directly from spirit or from a trusted companion or teacher, yeah, doesn't matter where we hear it, but when we hear it, we can feel it. Yeah. And then we have a choice. We can either follow the ego's doubt, or we can say yes, which I recommend, because we do want to save ourselves time. We don't want more suffering, don't want to extend the suffering. So, yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you. Thanks. Anybody else? Marie-Louise?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's just really lovely to hear everyone. And so when you're saying about the divine light, and it's just the sense of no one doing anything, nothing here. And there's a voice that is quite persistent. It comes up, and there's still the belief that the crazy character will mess things up. So I just wanted to, put that on the altar. And I think what happens is there's a bit of a split energy, because there's an energy still that's got a bit of power, but it's losing power. I can feel it's not that strong right now anyway. And then obviously there's the other expansion. Yeah, it's just, I think, to just be with what the not knowing, the not being anything, it can evoke something, and to just be with it, or rest around it. Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes it's such a relief. It's just like, thank goodness, there's nothing here. There's nothing to know. Why relief? And in other times it's an uneasiness. Like I'm feeling a bit seasick on a ship, because there's nowhere to hold on to. There's nothing to hold on to. So
Yeah. What am I if I'm not a body? What am I if this world is not real? I can feel like seasick.
Yeah. And sort of I think what the first lady, I think she said something about not doing the right thing, and I think that's a persistent, it's just a persistent idea that there's someone that should know, they are an identity that should know the right thing to do, and a mistrust that same sort of identity is going to make a mess of things. So yeah, I could just really relate to what she was saying, and that's what came up for me. Yeah, that's it really.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're a bunch of us that are like that. I never learned how to operate in the world. I never learned how this world works. I think some people have more, being more safe in the world, or feeling like they know how things work. But I'm part of the crew who didn't really learn very much about it. So that thought, yeah, I'm stupid, or, you know, I don't know what word you used earlier, but in my life, yeah, that's certainly come in many, many times, until I realized that this world cannot be understood and there is no right way. But until then, it was intense to think that I should fit in, you know. Yeah. So I'm glad I got finally an owner's manual, you know, in the course, like how to see myself here, you know, from a whole different perspective. Thank you for sharing. It's such a deep work of trust. It is just all about trust, especially when we feel lost. Okay, I see a hand here.
I wanted to, when Vanessa shared, it brought something up, and it's about teeth. I went to the dentist maybe a month ago, and I started crying because the dentist told me what it would take. I have all of this upper and the money and but everything that I could see is still linked to teeth somehow. It brings up shame of not being able to do the proper repair, and just patching work, and then it crumbles again, and it's just this lack and death, basically. Like, it feels like the body, body thoughts of, oh, I'm getting old, so I'm gonna lose all my teeth and I'm gonna die or something. Like, it's despair, because I don't see the end other than death, basically, when I take that spiral. And this body is not in pain, but this. And as soon as I have a little bit of pain here, it's just like, it's just panic. It's been like that since I was, well, it's been growing since I was 5. 50, I don't know, 53 years. That there is a story about the teeth, because I fell and it crooked all the, and so, usually I put it out of my awareness, kind of, so I avoid it. I avoid thinking about it. Meanwhile, it's getting worse. And
So
I
there
don't
are
know.
some beliefs there. There are some beliefs there that makes you avoid it. You want to pretend it's not there, or you don't want to think about it, but then sometimes it makes itself known.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And what the belief? Well, I can't afford it. The belief.
It feels like a good one to work with in your mind. To start with that one. What?
A juicy one.
Yeah, juicy one. You can't afford it.
Can't afford it. And how do so I'm just looking at at it. I'm just, what is it? Like I look at this belief that I can't afford it. And is it, like, I'm not sure if it's called for something informed to do or to, I don't know. It's kind of, it becomes kind of blurry and foggy. So,
maybe it's to look at whenever you have those teeth thoughts, to sit down with the Holy Spirit and have a really honest conversation, and what is there in your mind, because maybe it's a pattern to worry about it. Maybe there are other beliefs attached to it too. But yeah, ask for help. Ask for help. Pray for help. Ask the Holy Spirit for help.
yeah.
Yeah. And the Holy Spirit will tailor-make the help that we need with anything. It's tailor-made help coming our way when we bring a problem to Spirit. And we should not attempt to dictate what it should look like or what is the right thing, or, but to bring it to Spirit with completely open mind, open to anything, and definitely open to help. And perhaps the help doesn't come in the way we think it should. Maybe not even seem to address the teeth, it may not even seem to address what we think it should address, because the problem isn't really there. It's not really in the mouth. The problem is to the habit of going there for help, going to Spirit for help. That's what we need. And that's the answer to this, to what you shared to Marie-Louise about, and Vanessa, not knowing how this world works. Like, the answer is to ask in the right place for help. And to keep doing that. And it's so beautiful that we can do that, and we can see all the layers of self-doubt and fear and beliefs that may come up, when we do that, when we go towards our source for help. The ego thinks that's stupid and crazy and mad, and it's not real, the real way, but it's actually the only way. We can allow ourselves to do that with everything, absolutely everything, and in any moment too. And we can expect answers. We can expect the help. Expect the unexpected, expect miracles. Healing. Healing. Peter.
We both like to speak.
Welcome, you both.
Thanks. Well, we were painting today, doing a job, and we took more pauses, and we spoke about that with the people who were doing this. And he was so accommodating. Yes, he said it before, please take your time. We're really happy you're here helping us. And so we did that, and we were less tired. But I don't know, for myself, I started to experience, there were times when I saw how around time, sometimes when we were coming to eat lunch, suddenly wanted to do more. When we were coming near to finish, I wanted to rush in more. So this whole time and money thing came into my mind, and I started to feel more and more that it wasn't about that. Obviously, it's never been about that, but that's not how it's been in my mind. And it did just feel like this loving exchange, just loving joining. Yeah, just even imagining how that might be just feels just, I mean, to live like that feels, I mean, it's just, yeah, almost unbelievable. But that's how I could feel that. And I was reminded of a guy who was walking around the world and staying with people who picked him up, and he was able to provide healing with them. That's all he did. And it was like, oh, maybe this is what it's all about.
Just living in the miracle, just accepting what is exactly as it is, and not concluding what it is for. Time and money, what is that? That is something the Holy Spirit can use in the present moment. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not something we can use at all. The ego cannot use it. It will misuse it. Jesus says that ownership is a dangerous concept if it is left to you. Ownership of, anything.
Ownership of time.
Yeah. Ownership of time, money, bodies, possessions, anything. So yeah, it feels good how you experience it in a new way. It's releasing those old ways.
Yeah. And I had this experience. We started in the weekend with this job, so it's been a long one, and we're not finished. And yeah, I could just see this thing around probably the expectation of it shouldn't have taken so long time. We should have been further on now, and I had a lot of thing up around that. But the most important thing I experienced today was that I saw when we went there. Well, first because we did share about it this morning, and I had an idea maybe we should not even do anymore, because it had been so heavy for us, and so we've been really tired in our bodies, and then coming there and speaking with him, and suddenly I just saw this unworthiness and this kind of really harshness, and it was not that I could see it was not the job, it was not the painting, it was the harshness in my mind that we were not doing it good enough, or it should have been different, and it was just this harshness, and somehow I kind of projected that into them or something. They would probably think we were useless and it should, all these thoughts. And then him being so kind and so gentle, that was just, wow, it just changed everything. And then the day was just such a beautiful day, as Peter said, where we just had the pauses, and they came sometimes, and they came with tea, and came with something with food. They just really wants to give, and I could see this place in me where it's so difficult for me to receive. Yeah, it was very beautiful. Just to allow all that up.
It was that when Solvay was feeling unworthy, you know, and we said, yeah, we'd like a salad, and he's going to buy us a juice, and Solvay was just saying how unworthy she felt after that, and we both sat there. We're both emotional about it, and just I just felt my sort of inner defenses cracking open, and just feeling this sort of joy that it could be so different. I could let him in, and we could let him in, and just receive. Didn't have to feel guilty, because anyway, that was the kind of telling moment, really.
Yeah.
So suddenly we could see it differently, and we were both acknowledging our unworthiness, and actually, yeah, it was just a beautiful gift. Yeah.
I could see that, how someone could see both of you. You're so innocent, so sweet. They just want to give you, just want to offer you. Yeah.
Yeah.
How sweet.
Yeah, and even it doesn't matter how many days we have to come yet. They'll say, oh, we'll give you something every hour. It's no problem. We have something. Yeah.
No. I'm thinking of the gentle lessons that Jesus talks about in the Course. Yeah, his gentle lessons teach how easily salvation can be yours, how little practice you need undertake to let his laws replace the ones you made. You know, how easy, like today, or, you know, when you, yeah, it's a little bit of feeling unsettled or something new, but it is so obvious what the lesson is. You can accept it. Yeah, it's that. Like I said in the beginning, you know, it's possible to go through awakening without any fear or pain. And he's saying this, there is no need to learn through pain. And gentle lessons are acquired joyously and are remembered gladly. What gives you happiness, you want to learn and not forget. Well, this is from the Forgotten Song. Gentle lessons are acquired joyously. It's like your adventures there.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Monday evening, I think you said to me about these long working days. I had a 10-hour shift, and I really took that with me. And when you said, you know, it's not a long working day. It's just, then you just work a little, have a pause. So I was really aware of just having these pauses. And just step back and sit with myself. And there's such a difference. Yeah. It's really, and the contrast between the weekend when we were working, we had this kind of outcome. Yeah, we need to finish. It's so heavy, and then today just no. Yeah, it doesn't matter when it's finished. Yeah.
Precious. Thank you both for sharing. Yeah, I really love pauses. You know, I really love pauses. We need to pause our minds a lot. And we can do it when we're in the middle of projects. We can do it when we're in the middle of a meeting like this. If we get carried away by someone else's sharing or story, if we get carried away by our own dream, by our own perception of what is going on here, by our own perception of what is going on in our life, it's helpful to take pauses, you know. And I think we can get so good at taking pauses that our whole existence becomes this present pause, present stop, you know, or out breath, just be here now kind of thing, you know. We can get really, really good at that and we will, because it feels so good. We don't want to get carried away in dreams. It may seem to be a dream outside of us, but it isn't. There is one dream. It's our own dream. So let's not get carried away. Let's be in the pause, in the present. Give over all dreams. We hand over all dreams, all dream figures, all dream stories. And it's good. Thanks for your sharing. You know, your experiences are so healing and helpful. If we let stories, you know, meaning experiences, be used for healing, you know, they're good stories. They're dreams of awakening. That's what we need to allow them to be. I feel it. I feel this like a big band of awakeners. I don't know what to call it. We're in the flow together. And there is space for all of us. My father's home has many rooms from the Bible or from Jesus. I like that. My father's house has many rooms, room for all. Yeah. Feel, yeah, trust. Trust is the message. Moment by moment trust. And willingness to take the steps beyond, really beyond what we can imagine. I have no idea what time it is. I feel like it could carry on. Maybe there is more. Is anybody else sitting with something? What's that?
Did Louise have
Did you wait?
something more?
Louise?
I didn't know whether to share this, but I remembered something. It's so sweet, and it's about trust. I once met this guy, and he just radiated love, and he used to get on trains with absolutely no money, and if anyone asked him for a ticket, he just put a little heart on a piece of paper and he handed that to, and every time, because he was just radiating so much love. He was, well, you know, really awaken. I just thought, it's really sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, this
I
spirit goes, yeah, spirit goes beyond the laws of this world, you know.
And he was just so innocent and trusting, and didn't have an idea that that wasn't the way to to do things, and it was just beautiful. So yeah, just wanted to share that.
What's his way? That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Sweet. I will end this evening session with that sweet message with the heart. With trusting love for all of you. Yeah.
See you all soon.